For me, one of the best parts of Ben 10 Alien Force was the introduction of the character of Professor Paradox in the 10th episode. His introduction brought in a sense of charm as well as an unfathomable mystery that we had not seen previously in Ben 10. So welcome to Wonder WhyZ, and in this discussion video, I will talk about Professor Paradox from the Ben 10 franchise and why I feel he is so awesome. Now we are introduced to the concepts of aliens and extraterrestrial life forms in the original series right from the very beginning. However, that was more along the lines of cool monsters. The gravity of the situation was never fully explored in the original series, as it was mostly hidden behind the cool and wow factor of the new monsters that Ben transformed into. But Alien Force had a much more and mature approach, at least in the very beginning, until it reverted back to gags in Omniverse. But never mind, the introduction of Professor Paradox in episode 10 was one of my absolute favorite stuff in the series. It was for the first time when we learned how terrifying and undesirable the concept of alien life and time travel actually is. Personally, I'm a huge fan of stuff like Lovecraft horror, space horror, and time travel shenanigans. And this episode proved to be a stunning amalgamation of these tropes. Now, Professor Paradox is a time-traveling genius who can travel anywhere in space-time or reality. Moreover, the backstory of Professor Paradox is really interesting. For one thing, it is linked to Area 51, so it's automatically going to be interesting. Next, we see how Professor Paradox essentially became a time traveler lost in time due to an experiment gone wrong. We are given flashback sequences to his timeline, and we are shown how his experiment goes wrong, along with the tease of a certain big silhouette. The viewers are left to wonder who exactly this guy is and what the hell is actually going on. In the meantime, his introduction to Ben and the rest of the cast is spot on, and it effectively portrays how weird and mind-blowing time travel can actually be, from going to space, going back in past, glimpses of alternate reality, etc. And how his story basically intertwined with the story of Ben himself. All of this was really cool in my opinion. I feel that in the Ben 10 universe, Professor Paradox doesn't get his true credit. This character is so cool and interesting and different actually. He brings in a sense of mystery and unexplained wit. Moreover, the eerie music and soundtrack that plays whenever he comes up on screen is really awesome in my opinion. I love this character so much, and his introduction in the hybrid saga of Ben 10 Alien Force was just spot on. This character is obviously inspired by Doctor Who, which is even more evident in Omniverse. Now, even though I'm not a huge fan of the design changes in Omniverse, but still, the new look of Professor Paradox is actually quite cool and reminded me of steampunk aesthetic. Of course, we never find out what truly is the origin of this awesome character from his very own perspective, because the one we got to see is actually molded by Ben. But then again, that's the paradoxical element of time travel and its shenanigans. I'll be honest, even though he's a really cool character and is someone who's one of my favorite in the Ben 10 franchise, but still, I never thought that he'd actually become such a huge part of this series and its origins. His interactions with Ben, from the Forge of Creation and the Map of Infinity to the weirdness of alternate realities of Ben, was really awesome in my opinion. I loved this character and I wish we got to see more of him instead of the boring reboot. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you understand the meaning behind this video. Like, share and subscribe for more. This is Wonder WhyZ and I'll see you soon in the next video.